So microcatus, it is means very small, means very lightweight Kubernetes cluster. Okay, and metallb is generally the load balancers are provided in the cloud. Okay, but as an alternative for testing purpose, we can use lb. Why it is called metallb? So that we can use on our on-prem servers as well. Okay, so if you want, you can use it on metallb, but not recommended for learning purpose. To get a feeling of load balancer of the cloud, we are learning about metallb. So we know that we have cluster IP, node port, and load balancer. Okay, so we have seen example for cluster IP, node port. Now we'll see an example for load balancer as well. So we'll be performing this exercise number 9, where we'll enable metallb similar to ingress. So let's go there. kubectl get all. Okay, let's not delete. If required, we'll delete later. Get namespace. So we know we have an ingress namespace already. We do not have any other namespace. So what we'll do is microcatus enable metal lb. Okay, and while creating metal lb, okay, we need to provide a range of IP addresses which we will be used as for load balancers. Okay, and why I am using 1.131 to 135, because I am having an IP address range of 192.168 for this my VM, and also for this laptop. Means my Wi-Fi router is giving me IP address is 1 dot range. Okay, so from browser it will be easy for me to use it. Okay, so check what is your IP address range and which will not get conflict. Okay, use that range when you do the exercise. Don't use as it is. Now I'm just enabling metallb. Again, in production environment, though it's not used mostly in production environment, but in case you want to install metallb on some other type of clusters, then you'll have to go to the metallb website, and from there download the YML files and apply it. Here microcatus has made it very easy for us. Okay, at the back end it is applying YML files only. Okay, so metallb also is a third party which is provided by, for us for testing purpose in Kubernetes.
So meaning we have to download the code from that metallb.
Yeah, so that code will be in terms of YML files.
Got it. Copy and paste, okay, right?
wget command you'll have to use. Actually, wget will download everything on your list system, and then just do kubectl apply, because it will be in the YML format. That YML file will be downloaded, and for applying any YML file we use command kubectl apply -f, the path to the YML file.
Priyank, in actual scenario, how this one will configure actually?
Your voice is not clear.
In actual scenario, how this one will be configured?
That's what I said. We will download the YML files, wget using YML files, and to apply it, we'll just suppose we downloaded metallb config.yml. We got this file from the website of metallb. Just do kubectl apply -f. That's it. This is the actual scenario. But this at the back end, microcatus is doing it for us. So
Okay.
we got some error, but I think it's installed properly. Let's cross check it. kubectl namespace. Okay, and microcatus status. So metallb is also installed. Ingress is already there. Go to kubectl get namespace, kubectl -n metallb get all. Everything should be in a running state. Okay, so I think everything is fine. So we can ignore those errors. For some time there was some communication error. So metallb is installed, and make sure that all the pods are in running state. Okay, everything is it proper. Now again we'll create a deployment and a service. So what I'll do is mkdir lb demo cdlb demo cat, and you must have seen I'm using cat command because the indentation, that is the spacing, is important, and when we use this cat command the indentation remains intact. Okay, when we use vi editor, then the indentation may get disturbed. httpd deployment.yml. And remember, in cloud you don't need to install metallb. The load balancer will be automatically given. So suppose now you are on a cloud connected to the Kubernetes cluster created in a cloud. You don't need to install microcat metallb. Directly use this configuration. Okay, here we have defined that we'll be creating a deployment, use httpd image to create the pod, 3 pods. Okay, we can have any number of replicas, and for that have a load balancer. So in cloud what will happen is it will automatically give you the public IP address. It will automatically create load balancer for you, but here the prerequisite is metallb should be installed because this is for learning purpose. Okay, so you remember earlier we were not we were using cluster IP and node port. Now we are using load balancer. So use kubectl apply -f httpd deployment. Okay, so if you see a deployment is created and a service is created, kubectl get all, it will also have the earlier ones. Okay, so let it create. But if you see properly, a load balancer service is created and it picked up an IP address from the range 1.131 to 1.135. Now let's check if the pods are ready. Okay, all the 3 pods are ready for httpd deployment, which we created now. Forget about this. So if you see, it will also be available on cluster IP, but internally, okay, 182.25, but externally it is also available on 131. Okay, now just browse it here and you can see it works. Okay, earlier we were exposing directly the node port with the port number here, something 3000 something, but as we have a load balancer, now it is available on the load balancer IP address. Now suppose I need one more service. So what I'll do is what is this, just copy it httpd to nginx. Okay, go inside it and I'll use this shortcut %s that replace httpd with nginx. Oh, it will be fine. Okay, so it will download the nginx image. Okay, and it will create nginx deployment. Earlier it was, and let's have replica only one. Okay, it will again show so many pods on the screen, but I think we already have nginx deployment, kubectl get all. No, we have web1 deployment, so it won't create any conflict. So remember, we created httpd service with load balancer. Now the second service which I am creating is nginx deployment with load balancer, and let's see what happens. Kubectl apply -f nginx deployment, kubectl get all, and if you see, it has given the other IP address. Okay, for nginx service, just to curl. Okay, it is giving the default nginx page. Earlier for httpd it was giving default httpd page. Okay, so if I need third application, it will be third public IP. In here we are private IP, but when we are in cloud, we will be using n number of public IP addresses, and you all know that public IP addresses are costly. Okay, so if we have 100 application, there will be 100 IP addresses used, external IPs. So the solution is attach a public IP to Nginx service itself. Okay, and that we'll be doing in the next exercise.